In this episode, you'll learn how to use the YouTube keyword tool. Now, which one is that? There's actually a great variety. There's a lot of SEO tools or keyword tools or tools meant for YouTube, but most of them don't work the way that you think that they're supposed to. I mean, most of them won't help you get your videos ranking at the top of YouTube. So I'm going to talk about the 5 ingredients that your keyword tool must have in order to make sure that your videos will rank at the top of YouTube. And I'm talking instantly. Like if you post a video to YouTube and it's not ranking in the next day or two, then something is wrong. So your tool must have the 5 ingredients. We're also going to talk about how to differentiate between the keywords that are valuable and not valuable. And what is the best way to track your ranking compared to some of these SEO scores that you get out there that are actually misleading, and a score of 100% will actually hurt you. So how do you track it the right way? And then lastly, how can you leverage this to generate leads? How can you make sure that you're getting ranking in the right place and that you're taking that position and those views to generate leads for your business? So let's dive right in. So the first thing that we're discussing is these 5 ingredients. What ingredients or what features must your keyword tool have in order to be able to really help you? You've got to have all 5. If a tool only has 4 or 3 of these things, then you're going to have to use another tool anyway. You need to make sure that you have all 5 of these things. And if you can find all 5 of these things in a single tool, then gold. I mean, that's what you need. So the first ingredient is your tool needs to be thorough. Because some tools you'll do a search and you'll get like 20 responses. Another tool, 50. Another tool, 1,000. Like, what's the difference? Well, the difference is the size of the database or the resources at the tool's disposal to be able to get you results. So you want your tool to be super thorough. The second ingredient that you want in your tool is you want to be able to turn on or off questions. And questions are super valuable for people searching for your expertise. It's a great way of honing in on your target audience by knowing what questions they're asking. So you need to have a feature in your tool that you can turn on the questions button and filter out everything that's not a question. Now, the third thing is going to sound a little bit crazy, but you need a word count filter. Okay, so if you're searching for questions and you want a specific number of words, a word count filter says, I'm looking for questions that are between 7 and 9 words long, right? Well, what I recommend you do with those settings is start with 8 words or more, right? Now that sounds crazy, but search engines have gotten better and better because of AI, right? AI allows search engines to work way better. And we even think about using something like ChatGPT. When we give it instructions, we're going to put in a paragraph or two, and the more detail we provide, the better the results that we get. Well, search engines have improved in the same way. AI is behind these search engines now. And so the more words you put into the search query, the more accurate the results will be of what you want to find. The more of a pleasant experience you're going to have doing that search. So people are starting to put more and more words into their searches, which gives us a huge opportunity because we know more about the person who is asking the question. So if in your tool you turn on the questions button and then you turn on the word count filter so it's 8 words or more, that's kind of where I start by default. I know I've got really specific questions to pick through to choose as the title of my video. Now, the fourth ingredient that your tool needs to have is search volume. So many tools come up with great ideas and they look like they're thorough, but if you were to copy all that data into another tool that could show you search volume, you realize, oh, 90% of these have 0 searches every month. I only want phrases that have consistent search volume every month. So typically I'm looking for phrases that have at least 10 searches per month. So 10, 20, 30, that's actually the gold. You can rank for those phrases very quickly on YouTube because there's a lot of words in the title. It's very specific, and it's very unlikely that somebody else is going to make a video with that exact same title. And if you're going after phrases that have consistent search volume, but it's a lower number, most other people are going to ignore those, but you're smart. You're going to make a video that follows these instructions. You post that video to YouTube and it will rank at the top. And over the next month, you're going to get 10, 20, or 30 views from search. You'll get other views from friends and family and suggested, but search is the gold. Those that find you through search are more likely to become a lead. So even if you get 10 views from search, you should generate a lead from that. Okay, ingredient number 5 is the tool needs to work well. It needs to be user-friendly. I'll call it convenient. So if you use a combination of a variety of other tools to get these ingredients, Well, that's not very convenient and it takes a lot of time. So I do have a tool that I'm going to recommend in this video. I'll show it to you, I'll demonstrate it for you. But before that tool came out, I did have to use a variety of tools and kind of piece them together in order to get these results that I wanted. And some days I would spend the entire day doing keyword research, like an 8-hour day doing keyword research. But now that I found a tool that has all these features in one, I can do that same amount of work in an hour or less. Okay, so we're in here in the Keyword Magic tool. This is my all-time favorite tool. By the way, I am an affiliate and you can get a free trial for 2 weeks if you go to herokeywordtool.com, and it will take you to the SEMrush website. And then there's a whole suite of tools on the left. The one that I love to use is the Keyword Magic tool. All right, so I'll change the search. Let's say I've got a client that's ranking for disciplined teen. Okay, and when I have the questions button turned on, I've got this advanced filter turned clear up to 10. Let's go back to 8. And you see there's a lot of questions, but it says that there's 0 search volume. So see, if you found this list on another tool and it didn't have the search volume, you'd think, oh wow, look at all these. How to discipline teen stealing and lying with no proof, or how to discipline teen who has no phone. So what I do in this case is I'm going to lower the word count down to 7. In fact, I'll go to 6 up to 7. So now I'm looking for discipline teen questions that have 6 or 7 words. And because there's 0, I wonder if I'm spelling that right. It looks like I spelled it right. How to discipline teen. So I paused the recording to go and search because I've done this before and I knew that there's plenty of search volume. I figured it out. Okay, people don't type in teen, they type in teenager. So if I type in teenager, you see that there's actually a lot. And I'm going to turn this word count filter back to 8. And I'll just remove this one so it means 8 or more. And I'll hit apply. How to discipline a teenager that won't listen, or a teenager who doesn't care about consequences. Or that one's pretty similar, who is defiant, or who has oppositional defiant disorder, or how to discipline a high-functioning autistic teenager, right? So there's just tons of questions. I would go down, in this tool specifically, when it says 0, it actually means less than 10. It doesn't mean 0, it just means some positive number less than 10, but typically that's where I start. I go after questions that have 10 or more searches per month. In fact, this one that says 70, 210, or 260, I would hold off. I would love to dominate those, but I want to get the fastest traction I can, and these ones are going to take longer, so I go after the ones that have longer words and have lower search volume, but 10 or above. All right, so now I want to take you behind the scenes. I'm going to show you another client. It's in the political space, and first let me actually show you how he is doing on YouTube. So if I go to YouTube right now and I type in become politician. Okay, so we've got Jay Townsend ranking number 1, ranking number 2, and ranking number 4. He's totally dominating, and I just typed in a 2-word phrase, okay? So here is the spreadsheet where we're tracking all of the progress, all the different videos that he's filmed, and there's a lot here. We've got the political campaign branch. Become politician is the one that we just searched for. We started with all these different leaf titles or questions. I teach a tree analogy, so that's where the leaf title comes from. But I want to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I've been working with him for a couple years now, and I found this new branch called political strategy. So these are all topics and questions around political strategy, and I found a big list of them, and I wanted to see, how does Jay currently rank? I checked every single one of these on YouTube, and a yes means that he's ranking at the top of YouTube, so he's in the top 3. A starting means I had to scroll down to find him, but I still found him in the top 20, and a no means that he doesn't rank for that question. So I give a yes a score of 1, a starting a score of 0.25, and if I add all those up, out of the 68 that I listed here, he ranks 33.5. So because he's already got some traction, you'll see why we've got 2-word phrases and 3-word phrases in here and other things that aren't questions. But I've been working with him for a couple years going after all these questions, and he's just dominating so many different spaces. Like this run for office, there's so many questions, and all the long ones. I mean, look at all these yeses. All right, now I'm going to do something live in front of you. I'm going to put in here a formula, and it counts the number of words. So if you look up here, use the count A, split, and then the cell number, and you need to have a space in there because it's going to count, you know, how many words and spaces. I need to hit exit there. So if I just copy this down all the way for this entire grouping or this entire branch, it will show you the word count. And so then what I like to do, and I'm going to do this later because it would be tedious to do it on video, but I would take those with the highest number of words, like these 8s. I'll go ahead and I'll move these 2 up to the top, right? And so I find if there's any more 8s, and then I find the 7s, and I move the 7s up below the 8. So I put them in numerical order so that I can start with those that have the most words, and I can look at his current ranking. It's so cool to track where he is now. He's got a score of 32 out of 65. Let me scroll up and show you how we track this over time. You know, on political campaign, when we checked on April of 2024, he had a score of 11.75 out of 33. And he filmed some videos April a year ago. He filmed some in August. Well, his score by March jumped up to 20, then 21. And when we just checked it just the other day, we had a score of 22.25 out of 33. And so if he wanted to turn more of these no's into yeses, he could look at this one and say, okay, I'm going to film this one. Can corporations donate to political campaigns? Or are donations to political campaigns tax deductible, right? He could answer more of these to dominate this branch even more. So it's important when you do keyword research to really hone in on who is your target audience. And when you look at one branch compared to another, you need to compare them and think, what stage are they in? What demographics are they? What are they looking for? Which branch is more likely to need my services? Okay? Because you want to think linear, where you've got the question that they're asking, to the video that you make, to the free gift that you offer that brings them to your website to become a lead, to the services that you offer. Everything needs to be in alignment. So the questions that they're asking really lead people to needing your services. You can hone in and know, yeah, this is my target audience. They're going to be able to afford my services. They're a good fit. They're going to really benefit from it. Some branches aren't going to be that good of a match. Well, you know which branches you should focus on and which ones you don't need to focus on. So now that you know how to use the right tool to find these keywords for YouTube SEO, I want you to learn the whole leaf strategy. So I'm going to link to another video right here. It's called the YouTube SEO Secret Strategy. That's where you're going to learn the leaf strategy, and you'll understand what I'm talking about there. So definitely go watch that video next.